Kayaknya soalnya 1 menit.
Sat.
Udah 1900 juga.
Enggak boleh. 18 menit.
18 menit.
Angkut aja boleh.
Ratu rendah juga.
Angkut aja.
Ini nah 2030
1 menit.
Iya 2100 itu. Gak ada waktunya kayaknya dia tuh. Makan bener.
Apaan?
Gak ada waktunya ini.
Oke, waktu.
Jadi nanti main jadi jalan-jalan. Nah, ini kan seimbang.
Ya, 1900. Blunder kayak begitu.
Jadi ayo.
Makan juga nih pion ini.
Bisa bah. Bisa bah. Mantap. Aku deus. Wah.
Lari kau.
Cuma kayaknya mati dia.
Mati pakai apa?
Enggak.
Tadi mati kayaknya ada maling motor, orang berisik-berisik kejar.
Iya.
Lupa apa dulu.
Ngomong ada. Ngomong ini.
Kok bahaya banget sih.
Kayak apa?
Itu kalau gitu deh. Kepalanya itu salah. Satu. Kayak
Loh, mati dong kamu nih cuy. Aduh, kacau. Kenubian Jamal Musayev.
उसको हमने ये वाइब्रेटिंग चाइना के अंदर डाल दिया है, जिसमें से निकल के ये कुएं में पानी जाएगा.
It's then churned with what's called a plunger to stop the clay from settling.
ये प्लंजर के माध्यम से ये लिक्विड को घुमा रहे हैं, मतलब मिट्टी को घुमा रहे हैं. ये नीचे बैठने नहीं देते, क्योंकि मिट्टी और पानी जुदा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. ये हमारी मेन प्रोसेस है.
Once it's time to use the clay, it's pumped into this big metal container. Workers pour in natural dye for a uniform color.
ये आधा घंटा के बाद ये लिक्विड को हम वापस निकाल लेंगे, क्योंकि ये निकालने के बाद जो इतनी थिकनेस रहेगी वही हमारा कप होगा, ग्लास होगा, मोल्ड होगा. या
To make a pressure cooker, they mold it using a hydraulic press.
तो इसको 1000 डिग्री में ये कुकर को हमने बेक किया है, पकाया है.
Workers finish it off using this machine called an electric chalk.
जितना फिनिशिंग अच्छा हो, इतनी क्वालिटी अच्छी दिखेगी.
But to make pots, artisans use this wheel. Much of this work is still done the way it's always been done, by hand. They carefully join the top and bottom pieces of the pot together. It takes a lot of skill, but an experienced artisan can finish a piece in minutes. Once an item is properly molded, it goes.
और किचनवेयर प्रोडक्ट में इसमें घर में यूज करने के लिए कम से कम 900 से 1000 डिग्री तक उसको बेक मतलब पकाना पड़ता है. किलन में से ये हमारी जो आइटम है उसको हम पहले यहाँ रखते हैं, रैंक में रखते हैं. रैंक में आने के बाद हमारे यहाँ सब टेक्नीशियन आदमी ये काम में बहुत ही मेहनत थी, और मेहनत के बदले पैसा इतना नहीं मिलता था.
But Mansukh Bhai believed he could do never needs electricity.
क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रिक फ्रिज हमने देखा था, तो इसमें तो लाइट की वजह से ठंडा होता है.
About 1/3 the price of an electric one.
नया प्रोडक्ट मिला और मैं डेली का 25,000 पीस प्रोडक्शन करता हूँ, और वो पूरा इंडिया में.
Haven't been enough. All of this combined has left farmers frustrated and driven some out of the industry. We went to Kashmir to see if there's a future for the region's red gold, Satidas. The crocus can only be grown in a handful of locations. Kashmir is one of the only places in India with the right conditions to grow saffron, and farmers have grown it here for 3,500 years.
स्पाइस तो ये बिल्कुल इसके मुकाबले में कोई स्पाइस नहीं.
That's Ashik.
जो है फूल इस बीज में से आता है.
Once planted, the flowers need about 2 years to mature before they can produce good saffron. Come October, Ashik heads out to hand harvest the delicate purple flowers. Almost everyone helping is related to him. Since the flowers don't bloom all at once, just 5 years ago, Ashik could harvest for an entire month. But his crop is shrinking. This year, with fewer flowers, the harvest ended in just 6 days.
इससे पहले हम जाते थे 10 बार 15 बार, मतलब उतनी, मतलब मैं कह रहा हूँ 5-6 साल पहले, ठीक है. अब ज़्यादा अब कम हो रहा है.
Ashik's farm is not unique. That dried out the soil.
ये क्वालिटी में उतना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट ही नहीं पड़ता है, बट क्वांटिटी में इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. और टाइम पे बारिश न होने की वजह से प्रोडक्टिविटी कम हो जाती है.
Then there are the political issues. Kashmir is a disputed region between India and Pakistan. But India administers the part where saffron grows. In 2019, the Indian government implemented an internet and communication blackout. That, coupled with the pandemic lockdowns the following year, caused saffron farmers and the supply chain to suffer. Over the past decade, saffron production was so low, the government launched the National Saffron Mission. The goal of the $53 million mission was to revive the saffron crop. It promised to rejuvenate saffron bulbs and build irrigation systems to fight drought. But many farmers say the mission hasn't helped as promised.
बहुत सारे पैसे खर्च हो गए, मिलियंस खर्च हो गए, ठीक है. आई थिंक जितना मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है रिगार्डिंग सैफरॉन की, वो सब फेल.
Of the 120 never worked.
उन्होंने दिया था कि सैफरॉन मिशन बिल्कुल लगाया हुआ है, जिस दिन से लगाया हुआ है तब से ऐसे ही पड़ा है. ये आप देखिए ना, मतलब जब से लगाया तब.
Who works on the saffron mission says that's because when the government tried to install irrigation systems,
how to keep the quality of saffron.
the mission claims saffron production has rebounded.
This would not have been possible if National Mission on not had been there.
But these farmers are experiencing the production growth the government is reporting.
आज खाली सा जमीन पड़ा है.
Yet Ashik has continued his family's saffron tradition. In the evenings after harvesting,
सारी फैमिली एक साथ बैठ के ये रेड स्टिग्मा, जिसको हम रेड गोल्ड कहते हैं, इसका जो है वो निकालते हैं.
the stigmas are fragile. Then the stigma's less valuable yellow tips are cut off.
ये जो process है इसमें से वो में पड़ जाता है.
The red stigma houses the characteristic compounds that give saffron its bitter taste and aroma.
Saffron is illegally dyed for silk or tissue paper, plastics, which are not fit for human consumption and made to look identical to saffron.
Counterfeiters have also turned to safflower to pass off as saffron, but the plant has a completely different taste. Because of saffron's high price, counterfeiters can make a hefty chunk of change.
A layman cannot differentiate visually.
The source of much of the misleading products is Iran, which produces 90% of the world's saffron.
People may use pure Kashmir saffron adulterated with maybe Iranian saffron, which comes to a very cheap rates to India.
Iranian saffron can cost 48% less than Kashmir's, which is considered more aromatic and nutritious.
All it's bad for the whole saffron industry and especially for the Kashmir saffron farmers that their name gets tarnished.
To help raise prices, 2 years ago the government's saffron mission created this trading center called the Saffron Park.
We are the guardians or custodians of the GI of Kashmir saffron.
The Saffron Park's main goal was to help identify and stop fake saffron. Instead of selling on the open market, farmers could now drop off their saffron harvest at the center for storing and authentication.
We do not accept saffron in dried form in this trade center. We only accept fresh flowers to be brought to the collection center so that we ensure that the flowers are grown.
India is the only saffron in the world who has been given this certificate.
Just like champagne only comes from a specific part of France.
GI tag saffron should be taken as an authentic, pure Kashmiri saffron.
The center then markets the saffron and sells it online through its new auction site.
Every saffron bottle is traceable to the farmer and his land. It has been a very successful model of e-auction that we have tried.
Bongcloud says saffron that would normally sell for $1,300 in the open market can sell for $3,000 through the center.
Home with their money.
Suhail said the center has been a success and works with 35% of Kashmir saffron farmers, or about 6,000 families.
We are doing good. I'm damn sure we are building on their trust. We are giving them economic stability. We are giving them better value of their produce.
But not everyone's convinced. Ashik said he doesn't trust giving his crop to a center. The industry's woes have driven some farmers in Kashmir to leave the saffron business altogether.
काम को छोड़ के दूसरे काम को पकड़ना पड़ा है.
6,000 families have left the saffron industry. Reports say many have shifted to apple and almond growing.
We are fighting it. There should be acknowledgement of our efforts. If everything goes well, 2 to 3 years, this mission will be done and dusted.
Because ultimately, the goal among farmers and the government is the same: to save Kashmiri saffron.
This is a cultural identity. It really disheartens me.
Everything is at stake as far as this crop is concerned. We cannot let go of our...
Used the same recipe since the 1950s. It's gotten a lot harder. First, there was a cream cheese shortage.
You can't make cheesecake without cream cheese. It's impossible.
And now, inflation has caused the prices of other ingredients to soar.
I've been doing this for 33 years, and I've never seen a time like this, ever. And I can venture to say if my father was alive, he never saw a time like this either.
Now that he's taken over, Alan expects a tough work ethic.
To me,
to see how Juniors keeps rolling out its famous cheesecakes in the face of shrinking margins. Here in New York City, Juniors is an institution, but its cheesecakes aren't actually made in the city anymore. In 2015, the company moved to this New Jersey plant.
when we took over this building, we didn't have the space to do it out of Queens.
240 workers whip up millions of cheesecakes and layer cakes here every year. Not surprisingly, every batch starts with the most important ingredient.
This year, we'll probably go through about 7 million pounds of cream cheese.
Juniors partners with Kraft Heinz, the maker of Philadelphia cream cheese. Workers unwrap each of those giant blocks of cream cheese and tip them into mixing bowls.
So far, we have cream cheese, we have sugar, we have eggs. Still to come, we have some heavy cream, some vanilla, and I think that's just about it. It's kind of simple.
giant mixing bowls over to the assembly line. To speed up production, Alan added automatic depositors.
It gets pumped up here into here. This is going to meter out exactly the right amount.
First, workers drop a slice of vanilla cake, not graham cracker crust, into each pan.
We use cake on the bottom because this is a recipe that my grandfather created in 1950. It's a lot of work just to make the bottoms.
Slowly, the pump works its way through the entire batch of batter, plopping perfect dollops into each pan. And this guy takes out any excess air. On this line, they're making strawberry swirl cheesecake. The swirl used to be piped by hand, but this robot took over the gig in 2017. Next, the cakes head to baking. But this step also has a unique twist.
A lot of bakeries use rack ovens, where you just slide the whole rack in and slide the whole rack out. It doesn't work for our cheesecake.
His team bakes the dense cakes in a water bath.
Spreads the heat evenly. The bottom souffle. You see how the cakes are above the pan.